Hello. I'm really close to the camera. Andy and Stu here at Portman Road. Ipswich Town have just lost their second game in a row. Started the League One season 11 unbeaten. They've now lost two in a row. Both 2-0, this time to Rotherham. Not a good night at Portman Road, Stu. Not a good week so far.
No, quite a concerning 4 days, and I don't want to over-egg this. And Paul Lambert's just kind of put me in my place a little bit, sat here saying, come on man, this isn't all doom and gloom, but there certainly needs to be a few questions asked after these two defeats, because it's not the fact that they've just lost 2 games, but it's the fact that the performances have been pretty poor in both, haven't they?
That's exactly what Luke Chambers has just said to me, actually. It's not a crisis. They've lost 2 in a row, but the performances are the concern, and that is right. Tonight they just never, aside from the first 3 minutes, did they really look like scoring a goal this evening? Probably not. And as a League One leaders, that's a real concern.
Yeah, your camera work is very wobbly, my friend. We're without a tripod tonight, so excuse this rather amateurish hand-holding effort. But anyway, we digress. Not only did they not look like scoring, they could have conceded 2, 3, 4 more. They hit the post, Rotherham. They stabbed the chance over. Holy's made a really good save out the top corner. Just didn't happen for them tonight. I thought they got bullied physically. Tactically, it didn't work. It was that narrow diamond system in the first half with the Rotherham had 2v1 down the flanks, which was just like Accrington, just cross after cross going into the box that they didn't stop. It was only really when Georgiou came on in the second half that they had any kind of attacking spark about them.
The problem for me was midfield. There was so little creativity through that central midfield. I found it really hard to look at you and not make this wobble. But through central midfield, that just a lack of creativity in there. The engine room of the team. The worrying thing was that maybe their most creative midfield they could have had out there, aside from maybe an on-song Alan Judge. They didn't really get anything going through the midfield there, and the fullbacks were forced back, which they lacked any real width, and that's not a great combination.
No, the only caveat I would say is that at Accrington they obviously were missing 4 players in Wilson, Vincent Young, Downs and Norwood. Tonight, they had a few players coming back into the team, but I think they were carrying a few players who were far from fully fit out there. Hughes and Keane have missed a lot of football. Neither of them, I think, are anywhere near their peak still at the moment. Vincent Young, to me, looked like someone that wasn't fully at it after his groin injury. He's missed 3 weeks and been out. Is Downs' absence the common denominator here? He was an ever-presence and now missed these 2 games that they've lost. We talked about the engine room just now. Norwood was only fit enough for a 20-minute cameo. Your arm's getting tired, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a tired arm.
But we can't just sweep these 2 performances under the rug. We've been talking a lot about the depth of this squad and how good it is. Now the squad's been tested in these last 2 games. They've gone flat. So Saturday's game at Southend now feels like quite a big one, doesn't it?
I'm glad you've got onto that, because my arm is very tired. Southend lost 7-1 at home to Doncaster last night, but we'll have a new manager in Sol Campbell. What am I doing here?
I'll help you out.
You help me. I've got a tired little arm. There we go. New manager in the dugout, Sol Campbell. New assistant, Herman Hreiderson, of course. We all know him very well here. Can they turn that team around in a few days? It goes both ways, doesn't it, with new managers? Sometimes you get the bounce, sometimes you don't, but it certainly won't be an easy game.
Have we got a 10-day break after that? Are we into potentially, and is that...
Rochdale on the 5th, so yeah.
10-day break, because that's when the Bury game would have been the following weekend, so they really could do without another poor performance / result, because if you had 3 of them in a row going into a 10-day break, that's when a few doubts start to grow. And I've seen a few comments popping up on here, a lot of stuff on social media tonight saying we weren't playing that well anyway, even when we were winning games we weren't performing for 90 minutes. There wasn't, the wins were coming through moments of individual brilliance rather than cohesive team play. And I think we've all kind of had those doubts in the back of our minds. And it was only ever going to take 1 or 2 bad performances for all of that to sort of come to the surface. And it's a shame that they couldn't nip the Accrington game in the bud tonight, because you can't now just say that was one bad day at the office. It's been 2 bad days at the office, and at what point do you have to start saying that maybe there's some underlying issues here? But you know, they're not top anymore, because Peterborough have gone top, but they've still got a game in hand. They're still up there. They could do with nipping this in the bud sooner rather than later, couldn't they?
A good way to finish, I think. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at Southend.